Volume 1 Internships and Placements. If you have missed the last two sessions, do check out our YouTube channel. Today, we are excited to host one of our talented seniors from the class of 2026, Soham Yedgaonkar, a 5 times hackathon winner who will share his journey to securing a software development engineer role at PhonePe. Currently in his final year, Soham has a strong passion for AI and machine learning. He recently completed a 7-month R&D internship at CDAC Pune, where he worked on real-time drone data processing alongside building edge-to-cloud pipelines with Tableau and Amazon S3. He also gained practical fintech experience through an AI/ML internship at Firmway, following his All India Rank 1 win at Brainathon 25 Hackathon. He also achieved AIR 160 in one of India's biggest ML hackathons, the Amazon ML Challenge, competing against more than 75,000 participants. From hackathon prodigy to PhonePe SDE, Soham's story shows how persistence in projects, internships, and problem solving pays off. So, without further ado, I'll hand over to Soham and let's dive right in.
So hi guys, I hope I'm audible and visible at the same time. So, yes. So let me introduce myself again in just a quick second. I am a fourth year guy from PSIT IT and currently selected for PhonePe as a first company on the campus. And I completed, as you guys know, I completed my research internship in SIDAC as well as a fintech AML internship in PhonePe. So I will be just sharing you my what do you say full sequence engineering journey in just brief. Let's if you can just please share that timeline I just shared. So before going to that, I would just want to know how many of you guys are from second year. Please raise your hands. Well of them. And what about the other third year? Third year guys, please raise your hands. Cool. And all others are from, I guess, from the first year as well. Anyone from first year? Cool, cool, cool. Thanks for sharing it. If you can convert it into full screen slideshow mode, then it would be yes. Thanks a lot. Yep. Uh, so just telling you about my journey. You can just go to that main site. Yes. So I am an AI/ML developer. So right from the first year of my college, I started developing in Python. So as many of you guys might, what I say, might find it something different, but uh, everyone in PICT basically chooses one of the two languages, Java or C++. Very few people are there who choose some different language like Python or Go. Okay, I was basically one of them. After my what I say, after my interest in AI/ML, I started preparing for some real-time tasks. So I was just attending some workshops, some webinars, trying my luck in open source. In the matter of open source, I was also part of Hacktoberfest. So have you guys participated in it, or do you know what is Hacktoberfest? Okay, cool. Oh, good. So it is also a great experience of developing on a problem that is not set by you. That is the main thing that crux I learned there. So as you know, the projects that you are doing in college are always on the problem statements that you only select. So ऐसा होता है ना कि एक प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट हमें एक कुछ तो टीचर दे देता है, एक प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट हम खुद डिजाइन करते हैं. तो उसके जगह एक अलग प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट जो एक अलग कंपनी दे रही है, अलग एक यूजर दे रहा है. That sounds good in your resume as well as that gives you a boost and the confidence that is really needed into the company or needed into the industry. As I just got forward, I attended a drone workshop from SIDAC in the college itself. Okay, that workshop basically was on the what do you say was on the what do you say the verge of IoT side on the drones. So I basically launched. I was actually in the IT field, so I just was the newbie for them. So they just gave me some IoT tasks for just lift the drone, add some propellers, add some motors, everything the electric boys would know. Okay. Uh, at that point, everyone, almost 200 to 300 people attended that workshop, but only few were that capable or what do you say, that interested in that internship. So we asked for an internship in the SIDAC. As you know, if you don't know, guys, SIDAC is a research lab. It was the pioneer in supercomputer research. The first supercomputer that what do you say, India got or India made was through SIDAC, and it is right here in Pune. So it is a really good company, and I got a really good exposure there. I was working under scientists, researchers, and everyone who is building our nation, right? So that was a great experience. What I learned from my experience at SIDAC is ask, how to ask and why to ask. So there is a saying in Hindi that अगर पूछोगे तो ही दिल्ली पहुंचोगे करके. So that was the thing. I asked them for an internship. That's why I got ever. If I would never ask them for an internship, then I would have got none. That was the starting point that gave me a boost. So once I reached SIDAC, I got what do you say? I got in familiar with the scientists, researchers. At that same point, I was introduced to hackathon. So as you, if you know about me, that there are two. What do you say? You cannot separate hackathons from my journey. Each and every point in my engineering life, I was in part of some kind of hackathon. So there was a Brainathon 25. So if you kind of know that name, have you guys heard of Brainathon 25 or Brainathon? Okay, guys, no worries. Okay, there is a concept. Have you guys have you guys heard of Neuralink, Elon Musk startup?
Yes, yes.
Yep. So what does it do is basically, for example, what my brain thinks and what actually happens. That the difference between those two things is what he's changing. So, for example, I just got into my mind that I should turn off my mic, then it should get turned off. So this is what I was also working on in the Brainrot 25. That is also an interesting problem. I would get back to it in sometimes. Okay. So that problem I was working with, and I got the first rank there all over India. So it was also a proud moment for me. From that first, it was my first hackathon which I gave. What do I say? Solo. So others, all my hackathon wins are my team participants. After that, what do I say? After that hackathon point, I started searching for internships as well as some code breaks or some what can I say pre-ships basically. So I also while participating in hackathons, one of the hackathons was Hacksphere. So that hackathon experience gave me an edge over others in understanding how to negotiate with the what do you say the bench or negotiate with the judges. Through that hackathon, on winning that hackathon, I was actually offered an internship in a fintech startup. Uh, if I just want to introduce the Firmway, my company, in few lines, it is an Indian-based startup which is known for its state-of-the-art reconciliation. Uh, Leave that part apart. It is a complex commerce thing. So, but what I want to tell you guys is, if you just be visible to someone, if you be visible to what I say a larger group of audience, then there is a high chance of you getting some or the other opportunity that would help your career. So, for example, if I am just visible to them, and you guys are more worthy or more meritful than me, but you are not visible, then it I have a higher probability of getting that what is the opportunity or an offer than you. So one thing that you can just learn from this is that be visible, have a good LinkedIn profile, have a good, what do you say, speaking skills. Basically, attend more hackathons, attend more AML events, attend more. Uh, be also, what to say, visible in your college also. So as you know, PICT is like a school only. So everything happens in the hood. What happens in PICT stays in PICT. So don't be that. So always try to build something that would be getting you off from that college, getting you outside. What do you say? Uh, mm, Getting you or earning you some audience that is not from your college. So basically, I just want to, what do you say, crack that nut that will make you more, what do you say, more outstanding or uh, more popping in the new technologies as well. So this is what I wanted to tell you about the hackathons. So let's get back to the PhonePe thing. So as you know, PhonePe is known for its best competitive programming interviews. Okay. So right from the beginning till 2024, every time when PhonePe arrived on the campus, they were asking serious and, what do you say, uh, in-depth computer programming questions. So I was not a computer programming guy. As you know, I'm a Python developer. Everything I am developing was in Python, or 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 in, what do you say, Golang, or some languages that, what do you say, the what do you say, the computer programming is not possible in. So I just left my hopes there. So I started preparing for my DSA skills. Okay. Uh, if you guys know Striver, that A to Z sheet, so I started using that and solved majority of the problems. So while I was, what do I say, learning those skills, I found it the most important things to learn in the placement campus was DSA. Many of the companies, almost 90% of the companies ask DSA. The 10% will be handling you through the aptitude or diversity or anything other than DSA. But 90% of companies will ask you rigorous DSA problems. So in order to get placed on campus, you need a perfect DSA balance. So if you guys, I would say, if you guys are focusing more on web development and application development kind of things right now, that is a good perspective. You should have it, but you should not, what do you say, you should not completely ignore your DSA skills. As many of the guys are from second year and third year as well, I would suggest you guys to invest at least a semester only on DSA. And mark my words, if you guys do it seriously, then there is nothing what do you say, that separates you from the other, I don't say, other students who would get offered. So what differentiates me from my batch was the only one thing that I was doing a good and serious DSA in the, what do you say, end times. So the PhonePe arrived at the campus on August. So for the earlier 4 months, I was doing complete DSA. So that made my day in PhonePe. So this was how I gained some knowledge in order to reach at that level. Uh, in between, I completed 4 of my internship. 2 of them you already have heard. 2 of them were, first one was from an alumni. He gave me an, what do I say, offer, basically a project in order to complete a task in the given time. And when the task was completed, I also gained that internship experience. The another, I gained an internship experience from the PSIT college itself. So there was a research internship. So if you guys are from AIDS department, anyone from AIDS department or EC department, is the new branches of PSIT. So you guys must know that there are cameras installed on your in your classes for attendance. So I was also involved in that project as well. So you guys might not like that project, but still I was a part of that project. So that was a research internship I was doing in my, what I say, third and fourth year as well. So that was my whole journey till PhonePe. Okay, guys. Then, uh, yes. Do you want me to address any of the another's? What do you say, Anish? Do you want me to address some other things as well? Yep, yep, yep. Okay. Uh, so PhonePe, what I say, PhonePe interview experience was a much of the on the regular industry type scenarios. So it has four rounds. One of it was an online assessment. So one of it was an online assessment. So in which you had to score, what I say, more than 60% of what I say, more than 60% of test cases. So that was the hurdle that many of the students did not crack. And after clearing that, what I say, after clearing that DSA online assessment round, I was invited for the 3 rounds of the on-site interview. Okay, uh, majorly in the 3 rounds as well. The 2 rounds were mainly focused on DSA plus CP, and only one round was of hiring management round. So at the first round of the PhonePe on-site interviews was was a technical round. So basically, they asked me two of the DSA questions, majorly based on uh, matrix and graphs. Uh, as you know that PhonePe always asks questions on matrix and graphs. They don't go for DP. They uh, if they want to go simple on you, they will ask a array question or a binary search one. They will never try to oversmart you. So you should also not try to oversmart the interviewers. So for example, if you don't know anything, you should honestly answer you what you understand and what you don't know about. So that I learned from the first round of interview. I was able to solve both of the questions, but I was stuck in one of them where the interviewer helped me, and they were also very supportive. So that was a good experience for the first time. Then for the hiring management round, it was the what do you say, most what do you say, most awaited experience that I was explaining. Just how I was explaining to you guys my whole journey. The same thing was going on in that hiring management round. So I started with my AIML, Python, then R&D, then firmware, then hackathons, then brainathon. So I explained each and every part in them. So the interviewer was mainly curious about how much in depth was I focusing on a project or on a skill. So as I am an AIML developer, he was not from AIML background. So he started asking me some questions that how an real life problem can be solved through the same technology stacks that I have used in my projects. So basically, if you guys know MCP, have you guys know? Do you guys know MCP? MCP, LLMs, AI agents. You should know, by the way. How many people are there? Right, 50 people are there, and only 3 to 4 people know MCP. Okay. Uh, so just to what I say, summarize what MCP and AI agents do is basically the limbs of AIML tools. Basically limbs of an LLM. So if LLM is a brain, my hand is an MCP server. Okay, it helps me to grab things from one place to another. It's that simple. But as they were asking me some questions from my domain, I was the what I say very happy to answer them all. So I was answering to them in the same passion, in the same what I say, uh, in this same spirit that I am talking to you. So it was really a good experience. The hiring manager was a bit what do I say influenced by my hackathon skills as well. So that's why I was just more focusing on my hackathon skills. The hackathon wins gave you a better stand than your what do I say fellow students or peers. So for example, if you are achieving an uh, if you are achieving a 9 CGPA or 9.5 CGPA, what makes you different from the other 9 CGPAs is what hackathons, open source contributions, as well as tech workshops. So these small things that you can just give 1 or 2 hours a day will change how your portfolio looks, how your resume looks, how beneficial it is. I cannot what do you say explain you that, but it's it's rockingly what do you say. It will change the whole interview process. So the whole entire process focusing on the REST APIs, web development, application development changed just because I was able to prove my hackathon skills. I was just able to prove my AML skills in through hackathons. So that's why the whole process changed for me. Okay, and the last round again was a technical one. They asked me a couple of computer programming questions. They were based on what do you say, binary search on answers and a graph one, which had a Dijkstra's algorithm. So at that time, I was a little bit confused between both of them, and the interviewers helped me in some critical conditions, and I was able to solve again the both of them. So yeah, it was a really good experience. Yes, cool, cool, cool. Hackathons is the most what do I say most favorite part of mine. Uh, okay, there are three main problems why student at PICT does not participate or win in hackathon. That's what I got. First of all, no skills. How many of you guys think you don't have skills? Okay, only one, two, three. Okay, guys, just to clarify, each one of the what I say, each one of you guys have that skills that you need to have in hackathon. Just one skill you need to have is passion. A passion for anything may work in the hackathon. So, for example, while I will just give you an example. I was in a hackathon called Data Hack in DJ Sangvi, Mumbai. So at that time, I was in second year, and I did not even know basics of what I say web development, application development. The thing which I submitted to the what I say judge was just a sheet of paper with my idea wrote there, and I just draw a flowchart how my full workflow works. And at the end of the hackathon, I got a special mention that though these people don't have any software to show, they have an foolproof idea and how things will go. So skills are the most what I say. You start underrating yourself just because you see that the whole world is a competition. The people who start early wins the race. So there is always a saying that it it is a time where big cannot swallow a small. It's a time that fast will fast will swallow the slow. So if you guys are from what I say second year and you start competing, start expressing yourself from the second year or third year as well, till reaching your fourth year or the final year, you will attain such height that no one can be what I say no one can stand or no one can compete with you in sense of speaking or sense of projecting your projects as well. Okay, so the first thing was skills. So never underestimate your skills. Start preparing. Uh, what about the first year? So that continues for first year. So you start doing it early as possible. So right from the first year, you should learn, but at the same time experiment. So as you know that an agile methodology, you should learn as well as experiment at the same time. And experiment, by experiment I mean is hackathons, is open source contributions, is workshops. Everything will showcase you, will give you an edge of an industry. So the same scenario for first three years as well. So that would be my first learning. that never underestimate your skills. Then second things, have a good group. So ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि अरे ये मेरा मतलब ये मेरा दोस्त है, ये मेरा मतलब बचपन से दोस्त है, तो इसको लेके चलता हूँ हैकेथॉन में, ये कुछ भी करे उधर कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। ऐसा मत करो। अभी you are in the early phase of your what is the engineering life, so there are already what is say 1 or 2 years have passed, and you are already in the phase that in 2 years or 3 years you will be a good engineer. So आपको जो कोई हेल्प कर सकता है वो उसी को चूज करो। मतलब फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ यू आर गुड एट AIML, you should not have an whole group of AIML people going to an hackathon. That will be just an waste of time for you guys as well, and for the just mentoring you as well. तो क्योंकि वो जो बताएंगे वेबसाइट में करने के लिए, वो तो आपको आना चाहिए करने के लिए। तो एक अच्छा ग्रुप करो, एक अच्छा ऐसा ऐसा ग्रुप बनाओ कि वो एक एप्लीकेशन डेवलपमेंट भी एक लड़का है, एक सिर्फ बोलने के लिए अच्छा है, एक सिर्फ AIML कर रहा है, एक एक को बैकएंड का आता है, एक एक मिक्सचर ऑफ स्किल्स। एक वर्ड होता है इसमें AIML में MOE करके, मिक्सचर ऑफ एक्सपर्ट्स। सो ट्राई टू बी दैट ग्रुप इन द हैकेथॉन। अगर आप ये मतलब जीतोगे नहीं, फिर भी एक बहुत अच्छी अंडरस्टैंडिंग बन जाएगी। उससे क्या होगा कि आप जब इंडस्ट्री में जाओगे तब भी आप बता सकते हो कि आई वॉज वर्किंग इन अ ग्रुप ऑफ 5 वेयर आई हैंडल्ड एन AIML पार्ट solely और alone. That will give you a kick. उससे ही फायदा आपको अगले अगले इंटरव्यूज में वही होगा। नहीं तो 5 लोग मिलके एक ही प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रहे हैं, और वो प्रॉब्लम में आपने क्या किया है और दूसरे ने क्या किया है वो आपको लास्ट में पता ही नहीं है। वो एक प्रॉब्लमेटिक सिचुएशन हो जाती है। So that would be my second, what do I say, second thing for you guys. And the third and the most important thing is confidence. In hackathons, the most important thing you should have is confidence. कुछ भी हो, मतलब हमारा प्रोडक्ट फेल भी हो जाए, पर छूट भी बोलो तो ऐसा छूट बोलो कि टेक्निकल लोगों को भी समझ में आए कि ये लोगों को थोड़ा पढ़ाई की है। मतलब ऐसे ऐसे बातें बोल सकते हैं अपन कि जो हम सीख भी रहे, और जो हमें पता है कि वो इम्प्लीमेंट हो गई होगी, पर कैसा होता है कि हम जब शोकेस कर रहे हैं तब कुछ गलत हो सकता है। तो उस चीज को हैंडल करना, ये सबसे मेन स्किल है जो आप हैकेथॉन से और ज्यादा सीखोगे। तो हैकेथॉन्स के बारे में आई गेस दीज 3 थिंग्स विल हेल्प यू अ लॉट। हाँ, yep.
Yeah, if I guess if anybody has any doubts, they can ask in the chat or maybe raise their hands.
Raising your hands will be beneficial for it, will give you a good understanding.
So Raman has a question over here. As you mentioned some open source contribution, how do you manage to understand such large code bases and how to start contributing? Because starting an open source is a bit overwhelming.
Yep. Okay, just to mention that I was contributing for an open source in my second year. I am not a prominent open source developer. So what I was doing in Hacktoberfest was I was contributing to some small projects. So for example, there, I remember there was a game in Python called a Snakes and Ladders. So that Snakes and Ladders was the game in which I just what I say changed what I say corrected a bug that was keeping the snake in the loop. So such small contribution will make a greater impact on the society. Okay, in your career in open source. So if you guys want to know more about open source, there are many more good people like Anish, Vedant. They are very good about open source. So you should what I say talk with them and discuss a few things ahead. Yes.
Yeah, Siddhi, you can unmute.
So hello, Soham. So I need to ask the question regarding the rigorous DSA round because that's being very important. So what advanced topics will you suggest to practice more upon in the would be useful in the interviews? Because at sometimes I got stuck in some of those topics,
Hmm.
but then after I get to know them much more about. So if you can suggest anything.
Okay, rather than suggesting topics, I can suggest you a way of thinking in this. So what I was following, uh, your way of thinking and my way of thinking may be different, but I will still suggest my way. Okay, just listen me out. So for example, there are 5 things that you need to follow. For example, I'm just giving an example: A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so I would start with A, complete A first, then start with B, complete B first. But after completing B, I was revisiting A and B. Then after A, B, then C. Then after A, B, C, I was revisiting all the three. Then after A, B, C, D, then revisiting. Like this, I was going through all the cycles. So, for example, if you start array and then start binary search, so after binary search, you should go to array again in order to what to say check whether you have that knowledge still with you or you have missed in the past. So that was the thing I did in my what I say DSA preparations. It would take some time. It would give you a sense of what I say a sense of what I say tediousness or some a hard feeling to practice DSA a lot many times, but it will give you a good edge over others where people are just doing arrays and arrays and arrays continuing all the way. So that would be my session. On the topics we have, majorly on the advanced type, majorly focus on graphs. Okay, if you have good knowledge of linked list, then go for trees. Then trees, if you have good knowledge, then go for graphs. In advanced, there are only two topics: graphs and DP. Okay, for PhonePe, DP is not more proficient, but graphs are much more what I say asked and much more repeated.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Rohan has a question. Many clear OA rounds but get rejected in HR rounds. What
Hmm.
other things do you think HR expects from us other than just problem solving?
Okay, cool. Uh, to just answer you frankly, many of them guys currently just do copy in the OA and get rejected in the HR. That that will be my frank answer. So to be different from what others are doing, you should be at good at DSA as well as good in what is presenting yourself to the people. So that's what I say. That's what you get and skill from hackathons. You present yourself, you present your solution to the people. So presenting yourself is a skill that will get you forward in the HR. Or one more thing that I specifically mentioned and specifically want you guys to work on is how you refer your skills in your projects. So, for example, if there is a project that project has an what I say a React front end and a Java backend, okay. So you should mention that how user is getting what I say how this problem is solved for the user and how he is getting navigated or he is reducing his time efforts. So that points are what I say that points many of the people omit or don't understand how important they are. So they are the main thing that gives user a user experience, use gives user a good user experience, which makes your problem a item or a solution basically. So that would be my suggestion.
Okay, Ayush, you can unmute.
Hello.
Yes, Ayush.
Yeah, so I had multiple questions. First of all, what role did you have in your hackathon team?
What role means you are asking me as an technical part, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So as I just mentioned, I was an AIML developer, and in contradiction to my saying, of the guys that my team had, all were AIML developers. So each one of them was working at an AIML task plus an front end back end thing. So majority of my tasks were AIML, but also I was working on some vibe coding, some front end tasks, some catching bugs from the Python backend as well.
Okay,
So
okay. So you mentioned that you are in the AIML domain for your hackathon, right? So the thing is, when we are talking about AIML for hackathons,
hmm,
you usually make like high-end models. And when let's say I'm pursuing AIML for a career, in
hmm,
that case, I have to learn things from scratch. So I'm going to give an example for like LLMs that you mentioned using agents and tools. So in hackathons, you use those tools, but instead, if you're like focusing on career, if you're trying to find an internship related to AIML, you need to
Mhm.
also learn how LLMs work. So these, I feel, are two different pillars of AIML. So how did you exactly manage doing both of them? Like practical application of them as well, and actually understanding how these things work.
Your question perfectly makes sense. Okay, I will just repeat a few things. There are two things in AML. If you want to go deeper in it, first thing is using AML, and second thing is building AML. Okay,
Right,
what is building AML? You build foundational models. Okay, you
right,
train decision trees, you train what do I say, regression forest, or anything you train basically, and
right, right,
and using AML is a different thing. So, for example, if you're using an LLM to answer your what do I say to make a chatbot, it is a quite different thing from it. What is building AML, right?
right.
In Pythons, you need to do this building a
Correct.
what is it, using AML, but at the core understanding, you should know how an LLM functions. You should know, but you should not practice do what do you say practice making an LLM before using it.
Right, right, right.
Get my point?
Yes, yes.
You should know how the outcome will look like. You should know how with the outcome will be beneficial for you, and in the same wise also using it in the daily life to solve problems.
Right, right.
And to be frank with you, majority of the companies coming to the campus are not AML. So if you are what to say damn serious about AML thing, you should basically opt for off campus, where in depth and in breadth ML concept will be checked. So you should have thorough knowledge in both building and using.
That's right. But the thing is that when I'm participating in a hackathon, I don't get time to actually learn how to build AI/ML models, right? Because I'm practicing how to use them. So how did you manage the time exactly?
But what's the problem in what is it? If you are using some models, for example, in a hackathon, you find out in the Google that Cronus 2 from Amazon is a great model for LSTM tasks. So after
Okay.
going home, just read about it. How is it working? How is it? What is it different from the original LSTM part? Read
Right,
about it.
right, right.
You don't
Okay.
need to write a single line of code. Just read about it.
All right, all right.
I'm following.
So even in internships, like you mentioned, that breadth and depth knowledge both are checked. So even in internship, or that's just for placements?
It differs from company to company. For the companies I was interning, they were just checking whether I was able to, what do say, whether I was able to answer their, what do say, solve their problems through using AI.
All
Okay,
right.
in the my R&D internship, but in in firm way, I was training my own AML models. So it
Right.
differs from company to company. So you need to check it before what is applying.
Okay, okay. All right. Thank you so much for answering my questions.
Thanks.
Okay, Shivendra has a question about some guidance on ICPC and competitive programming.
Again, the one of the what to say, if you have read the what to say the title of today's what I say today's session, it was beyond CP. So I am not a CP guy. So there are many of the what I say people here in PICT that you can just go to to ask these questions. I was not a CP guy, so I cannot answer it.
Okay, Sumer asked the question, can you please tell in DSA, is language necessary? Like, can it be done in Python itself?
Yes, it can be done in Python, but if you're targeting majorly on-campus companies, you should do DSA in Java or C++. Majority in Java. If you are targeting strict on-campus placement, majority of companies come for Java hiring.
Okay, Siddesh asks, did you always remember the pattern of DSA questions to help you in interviews, or was it just brainstorming?
What do you mean by that? So if you can unmute and just spell your question a little bit.
Yeah, many of the questions are actually like a pattern based. Like many of the people, when I do CP, I try to find if there's some similar pattern these questions have solved before, or is it like a kind of new problem? So did you do the same thing in interviews? Did you like
Uh,
try to
I am not
extract
getting your
similar
question.
like many of the DSC problems are based on same patterns of question.
Yep. Many of
So
them
did
are
you always
pattern identifying is always a, what do you say, a task or a orchestration layer over the DSA education. So, for example, if you have solved majority of array problems, you can, what do you say, in the first 5 seconds on the looking at the question, you can surely get into your mind what to implement and how to implement. So, solving main questions, solving many questions helps you in that. But if you, what do you say, if you are good enough to crack that nut out without understanding patterns, you are good to go. You're basically a, what do I say, a good engineer then. I followed the same way that other people followed. You should identify patterns and then solve them.
okay?
It just asks, has cloud and DevOps help in your journey and learning it useful for differentiating your profile as you have done AWS DevOps certification apart from DSA and CP?
Uh, nope. One major, what I say, a good thing, what I would like to share from you guys, everything that if it is free, just go for it. So that may sound ridiculous, but still, अगर कुछ फ्री में मिल रहा है तो उधर जाके एक अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस लेने का बहुत अच्छा सिनेरियो होता है. फॉर एग्जांपल द AWS थिंग यू मेंशन, सो इट वाज फ्री ऑन कोर्सेरा. सो घर बैठे और क्या करना है तो कोर्सेरा पे जाके फ्री कोर्सेज कर देता था मैं. और यू आर जस्ट मेंशनिंग वन कोर्स, but I have completed a series of 24-26 courses, right from the, let's say, how to present yourself, how to present your project, how to speak in front of dignitaries, sequential projects which help me in my, what I say, presentation skills as well as soft skills as well as technical skills as well. So the AWS thing you are mentioning, it was also free on Coursera, so I did. It did not play any major role in my internships as well as my company hirings as well.
Okay,
I hope
Kshitij asks,
answer. Sure.
yeah, Kshitij asks, could you please tell him about multiple domains of AI/ML that he can integrate along with Java backend development, and which would be beneficial?
Okay, multiple domains in AIML. So there are multiple things that you can think of in AIML. So I would I would just brief you about some. First thing is NLP. What what needs to be done to an text? Sorry, just give me a minute. Sorry for the interruption, guys. Uh, so just I was just briefing about the AML domains. The one thing is NLP. The second is computer vision. Then you can go for generative AI as well. Then you can go for descriptive AI as well. So there are multiple models or multiple domains in AML as well. But you need to choose them according to your problem statement. So don't go behind that domain just because you like it and then find problems for it. You go for AML, then you should find a problem and then ask for the solution. That's what I followed. So first don't follow the solution, then for the problem. Okay, so that would be my answer. Along with Java backend that I can integrate. You can integrate anything with Java. So there is a service, what I say, architecture called microservice architecture. So what does it mean? That if there are APIs, basically there are some APIs listed in Python as well as some APIs listed in Java. So you can create anything based on the mixture of two. So we used to follow that in hackathons. So there are some code bases that are written in Java, some code bases written in Python as well, and the mixture of two was used in what do you say, website develop or application develop. So does it answer your thing, or do you want me to elaborate more on the Java thing?
He has also asked for best resources for learning these domains.
Best resources for learning AML. It is a quite tough market to learn from a single resource. But I would still suggest you go on the browser itself. So because many of the major developments in AI are still on the verge of getting developed. So each new day there is a new model, a new thing is getting developed. So I would suggest you go through the daily affairs as well, and with it you complete some foundational courses. So if you guys know Andrew NG, he's a great person of AIML background. So you can just follow his course from Coursera. It is free of cost. I also did free of cost. So go for it.
Yeah, Krishna, you can unmute.
Hello, I had this one major question. Like, as you said about this AIML thing. So, actually, what happened is during our period, there was too much of like AIML hype out there, and also like the college seniors were performing good, and they had a background, and we tried to follow that background. And unfortunately, we're not some like me, I was not able to follow that background, but somewhat the other way I am sufficient to make some projects with llms or something in my projects overall. Like I'm able to design an entire system of how the user works with the llm, how the chatting works, how we actually draw conclusions. So it feels kind of boring to actually go on to the entry ng courses and study what is vectorization and all, and just मतलब जब पढ़ रहे हैं और पता नहीं LSTM होता क्या है. So just
Hmm.
going and reading, okay, बात हो गया बस. So is it actually necessary to go and study those courses? Because अभी तो मतलब ऐसे हो गया कि अरे भाई करना करना अभी तक किया ही नहीं है, ऐसे हो गया है ऐसे
Perfect,
बेसिक
perfect.
कोर्सेज.
नहीं, ये क्वेश्चन आई गेस आयुष ने पूछा था ना, वो बिल्डिंग एआईएमएल और यूजिंग एआईएमएल में
या
डिफरेंस.
सिमिलर, यस.
हाँ, तो वही बात है कि अगर तुम यूजिंग एआईएमएल जस्ट तक एलएलएम को कॉल करके एलएलएम से आंसर लेना, अगर इसको तुम एआई बोल रहे हो तो ये एआई है ही नहीं. ये बेसिकली हम उसको एआई मतलब एआईएमएल डोमेन में जो है उनको एआईएमएल बोलते ही नहीं है. ये सिर्फ एपीआई कॉलिंग है, ये बैकएंड है पाइथन का, सिर्फ उतना ही है. पर जो सच में एआईएमएल होता है वो डेटा को अंडरस्टैंड करके, डेटा को क्लीन करके, वो सब चीजें होती है. तो फर्स्ट एक पास डिसाइड करो, अगर तुझे सच में एआईएमएल मतलब डेटा पसंद है तो तुझे मशीन लर्निंग सीखना पड़ेगा. जो एलएसटीएम जो मॉडल तो बोल रहा था ना अभी, एलएसटीएम, डीप न्यूरल नेटवर्क, सीएनएन्स, आरएनएन्स, वो सब सीखने के बाद ही तुझे आगे के मॉडल समझ में आएंगे. नहीं तो क्या हो जाएगा कि नए मॉडल्स आएंगे तो तुझे मॉडल्स यूज कर सकता है तू, नए मॉडल्स भी, पर वो कैसे काम कर रहे हैं तुझे पता नहीं होगा. तो वो जरा एक हर्डल होता है कि हमेशा तू इंटरव्यू बोल सकता है कि मैंने एग्जाम्पल एक्स वाई जेड मॉडल यूज किया. अगर इंटरव्यू बोलेगा कि वो ही मॉडल यूज क्यों किया, तो यू विल बी ब्लैंक, क्योंकि तुझे पता ही नहीं होगा कि वो मॉडल का स्पेशलिटी क्या है और वो क्यों यूज करते हैं. गॉट इट.
हाँ हाँ.
तो मुझे तो लगता है तू एक छोटा सा कोर्स कर ले, कुछ इतना डिफिकल्ट तो होता नहीं है एमएल. ऐसा मुझे लगता है कि छोटा सा कोर्स कर ले, थोड़े से बेसिक्स क्लियर कर ले, और थोड़ा थोड़ा पढ़ता रहे, बस और कुछ नहीं.
तो मतलब लाइक डूइंग इट एक्चुअली कि मतलब ये नहीं ना कि वो एक पूरा फोल्डर बना दिया अपने पीसी पे जहाँ पे हर कोड्स लिख रहे हैं, कि इट्स अ रफ अंडरस्ट मतलब थियोरेटिकल अंडरस्टैंडिंग रखने की, कोड से अंडरस्टैंडिंग जैसे डीएसए में करते हैं वैसे.
नहीं, मेरा सजेशन तो रहेगा कोड पे जाओ ही मत. कोड अभी चैट जीपीटी, क्लाउड बेड 5 मिनट में कोड दे रहे हैं, पर उसके अंदर क्या हो रहा है वो सिर्फ समझ लो. एक बार तूने सुन भी लिया तो समझ में आ जाएगा, इतना मतलब डिफिकल्ट रहता नहीं है वो. और एक बार समझ लिया तो तुझे कोड चैट जीपीटी पे दे देगा ना, उसका डिफरेंस है ही नहीं. एलएसटीएम का कोड चैट जीपीटी तुझे 2 मिनट में दे देगा, पर एलएसटीएम होता क्या है वो पढ़ना पड़ेगा अपने को.
ओके ओके.
Okay, Om asks, what is your position in PhonePe? Is it related to AIML domain or is it SD?
It is SD, but I am trying to get shifted to AML domain. So as in PhonePe, there is no AML, what do you say, a tech team there. But still, I am requesting them, and actually tomorrow I am flying to Bangalore for my internship. So I am still in the verge of, what do you say, अभी अभी तो मतलब जा रहा हूँ, तो अभी उधर जाके पता चलेगा क्या काम देंगे और क्या नहीं देंगे. आई एम ट्राइंग फॉर AML task. Anything else, Vedant?
No, no doubts yet. Anybody else has any doubts, please ask them in the chat or you can raise your hands. Okay, I think we can conclude the session. So, okay, no, Sarang has a question about backend development. Did you ever feel to switch to JavaScript?
No, no, never. I am a hardcore Python developer, right? So everything that I can do, I will do it in Python. That's what I always feel. So नहीं, जावास्क्रिप्ट तो पसंद भी नहीं है मुझे. ये उल्टा उल्टा फॉर्म लिखता है उधर. मतलब for just kidding you guys. So there is a sentence from XYZ import XYZ. So in Python we write like that. But in JavaScript you guys write it on the अलग scenario. You write import this from this. मतलब ये ऐसे बोलना जैसा है कि मतलब उधर जाके ये लेके आओ नहीं, ये लेके आओ उधर जाके, ये उल्टा बोलते हैं उधर जावास्क्रिप्ट में. तो वो नहीं यूज करना, मुझे पसंद नहीं है वो. तो मैंने
But then for but then for making projects, like it's not sure na कि every time we get Python का thing.
पाइथन का क्या
Like if there are two people doing backend thing, एक को अगर पूरा JavaScript आता है तो you need to learn JavaScript, right?
मतलब किस सिनेरियो में
क्योंकि
बोल.
like I develop full in Python. अगर हम लोग Django भी यूज करें, Django and Express दोनों के syntax तो बहुत डिफरेंट है ना.
हम्म.
जस्ट दैट राउट्स और वो सिमिलर हो सकते हैं. ऑथेंटिकेशन वाला पार्ट सारा फिर से लिखना पड़ेगा.
मैंने मतलब तू तेरा पॉइंट किस चीज में है, इंटर्नशिप की चीज में है या मतलब
हाँ,
कंपनी के
हैकेथॉन्स की तरह.
हैकेथॉन्स के लिए क्यों जरूरत है, जरूरी है ही नहीं ना. वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि जो चीज तुझे अच्छी लग रही है, तुझे सबसे बेस्ट आ रही है, वो चीज हैकेथॉन में जाके दिखानी है. ऐसा ना हो कि हैकेथॉन में जाके तू जावास्क्रिप्ट उधर जाके सीख रहा है, वो होता ही नहीं हैकेथॉन में कभी. हैकेथॉन में समझ तुझे जावास्क्रिप्ट बहुत अच्छी आती है तो यू शुड स्टिक टू जावास्क्रिप्ट. और मुझे पता नहीं जावास्क्रिप्ट में कैसा होता है, पर पाइथन में एक चीज होती है कि एक फास्ट एपीआई करके चीज होती है, उसमें एपीआई एकदम इजीली फास्ट एकदम जल्द से जल्द बन जाता है. तो वो क्विकली करना हैकेथॉन्स में ज्यादा प्रॉफिटेबल रहता है. तो हमेशा मैं पाइथन को ही चूज करूंगा कभी भी जावास्क्रिप्ट के लिए.
एंड ऑल्सो अबाउट दिस योलो मॉडल्स एंड ऑल थिंग जो हम लोग ने इम्प्लीमेंट करा था इन कॉलेज का. सो व्हाट डू यू प्रेफर यूजिंग हार्ड मॉडल्स लाइक जिसका ज्यादा इपॉक्स है या लो इपॉक्स वाले मॉडल्स. एंड व्हाई, बिकॉज वो पूरा डिफरेंस क्रिएट करता है ना उसमें.
ये जरा तू मुझे ऐसे ये बता, मतलब डिफाइंड क्वेश्चन बता. लो
सी
मॉडल और हार्ड बता.
लाइक व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट कंप्यूटर विजन का थिंग, तो उसमें इफ यू इंक्रीज द मॉडल का साइज योलो का एन और बाकी जो भी है एन का, तो उससे इट ऑल चेंजेस राइट. उसके जो इपॉक्स है और उससे लाइक व्हाट वी कॉल.
समझे समझे मुझे. तू जो बोल रहा है ना वो मतलब फॉर एग्जांपल ऐसे दो मॉडल्स है, एक मॉडल का एपॉक्स ज्यादा लग रहा है, एक मॉडल का कम लग रहा है, तो कौन सा यूज करना चाहिए
हाँ.
ऐसा बोलेगा.
यस.
तो इसका आंसर मेरा तो ऐसा रहेगा कि हैकेथॉन में जो जल्दी हो रहा है वो ही चूज करो, जिससे एक्यूरेसी अच्छी आ रही है वो चूज करो. पर एट द सेम टाइम व्हाइल डेवलपिंग दिस सॉल्यूशन फॉर एन इंडस्ट्री यू शुड थिंक ऑफ रिसोर्सेस. वो सबसे मेन चीज होती है कि जो हम हैकेथॉन में सोचते नहीं है. कितना भी जीपीयू लग रहा है अभी हमें क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है, पर जब तुम एक कंपनी के लिए सोल्यूशन बिल्ड कर रहे हो इन रियल से एज एन एम्प्लॉय, तो यू शुड आल्सो ऑलवेज थिंक अबाउट कंप्यूटेशन, कितना का पावर मतलब कम से कम लगी, उसका भी एक सोचना पड़ेगा उस टाइम पे.
यप. गुड.
Okay, Shivendra asks if a person wants to start a career in AIML, what should be the base?
व्हाट शुड बी द बेस. बेस मतलब तू सीटीसी की बात कर रहा है क्या.
No, no.
मतलब कौन सा बेस, मतलब बेसिक नॉलेज. हेलो. ओके. बेसिक नॉलेज में तो प्रेफर करूंगा, थोड़ा सा मैथमेटिक्स जरूरी है. थोड़ा सा ये पता होना चाहिए कि मतलब मैथमेटिक्स में ये क्या होता है, सिग्मा का फंक्शन क्या होता है, ये नॉर्मल नोटेशंस होते हैं वो पता होना चाहिए. थोड़े से कॉम्प्लेक्स मतलब जो मैथमेटिक न्यूमेरिकल क्वेश्चंस होते हैं उसको सॉल्व करने की आदत होनी चाहिए. और कुछ नहीं, थोड़ा सा पाइथन आना चाहिए बेसिक्स एकदम, और कुछ नहीं. बस मोस्ट ऑफ थिंग उतना ही एकदम स्टार्ट करना है तो. अगर तुझे करियर स्टार्ट करना है तो तुझे थोड़ा सा मॉडल्स, मतलब यूज केसेस और मॉडल्स को मैच करना आना चाहिए। मतलब इस यूज केस के लिए यही मॉडल बेस्ट रहेगा और यही डेटा अच्छा होना रहेगा। ये अगर तीन चीजें तूने मैच कर ली तो तू एक अच्छा एक एआई डेवलपर बन सकता है।
Okay, there are more doubts, but we've come to the end of our time. So, this will mark the end of our session. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. A huge thanks to Soham for sharing his journey. I'm sure we all gained some great insights. Before we wrap up, we're thrilled to announce an exciting new collaboration with Aperture 3.0. We're partnering as a community partner for this amazing 30-day open source contribution program happening from February to March 2026. It's a fantastic opportunity to work on real world projects, gain mentorship, and win over 50,000 rupees in prizes. So, if you're looking to level up your open source skills, make sure to check it out and register. You can find more details and the QR code on our social media. And don't forget to visit our YouTube channel to catch up on all the past sessions. We have more exciting content coming your way. So, thanks again for being part of today's session. Have a great evening, and we hope to see you in the next one.